Stop everything, because what just leaked out of Harlem has the entire hip-hop community gasping for air. We're talking betrayal, deception, and a scheme so twisted it feels like something ripped straight from a late-night soap opera. Except this is messier, nastier, and real enough to leave fans questioning everything they thought they knew about love, loyalty, and family. Jim Jones, the Dipset legend himself, has allegedly blown the lid off a scandal that nobody saw coming. According to shocking insider whispers, Jim has exposed a dark, calculated plot involving his longtime partner, Chrissy and none other than his brother-in-arms turned rival, Camron. And the center of this bombshell, a so-called baby that, if these leaks are true, never even existed. That's right, reports are claiming Chrissy and Camron may have conspired together in what some are calling a fake baby plot designed to manipulate Jim emotionally, humiliate him publicly, and flip the entire Harlem narrative upside down. The details are murky, but the consequences, catastrophic. Was this really just a cruel trick to keep Jim under control? A publicity stunt? Or something much darker? A revenge plan years in the making? The receipts, the whispers, the betrayals, all of it is coming out now. And if you thought Harlem beef was already dramatic, this revelation makes every past feud look like child's play. The streets of Harlem have always been known for loyalty, betrayal, and legendary rivalries, but nothing prepared the world for this. To understand the magnitude of Jim Jones' explosive allegations, we have to rewind the clock because the tangled web between Jim, Chrissy and Camron has been spinning for years. Jim and Chrissy, a love story full of chaos for more than 2 decades. Jim Jones and Chrissy have been the definition of a ride-or-die couple, from Love and Hip Hop New York to their countless public ups and downs. Fans watched Chrissy propose to Jim, argue with him, and still hold him down despite rumors, financial drama, and industry pressures. They were messy, yes, but always solid. Chrissy was the woman who stood by Jim when the world doubted him, and Jim always claimed Chrissy was his backbone. But what fans didn't see? The cracks. Over the years, insiders whispered about Chrissy feeling unappreciated, about Jim dragging his feet on marriage, about Chrissy demanding more commitment while Jim buried himself in music and Dipset business. Those tensions simmered beneath the surface, and now they've reportedly exploded in the ugliest way possible. Camron, brother turned enemy enter. Camron, once Jim's brother-in-arms in Dipset, the two created Harlem anthems together, ran the streets, and built an empire that felt untouchable. But as with many powerful duos, egos and money got in the way. Rumors of Camron using his influence to sideline Jim, business deals gone wrong, and alleged personal betrayals led to one of the most infamous splits in New York rap history, though the two reconciled publicly in recent years. Sources say the trust never truly returned. The tension between Jim and Camron has always been volatile, one wrong move away from full-blown war, which makes the current scandal even more jaw-dropping, the fake baby plot, where it all collides now. Jim Jones is allegedly exposing a scheme that involves both Chrissy and Camron, a scheme that, if true, could shatter reputations permanently. According to insider whispers, Chrissy and Camron may have been plotting behind Jim's back, using a fabricated pregnancy as leverage. Yes, you heard that right. The dark truth Jim claims to have uncovered is that the baby news that surfaced months ago, whispered quietly in gossip blogs and hinted at in Chrissy's cryptic posts, may have been completely staged. Not a miscarriage, not a secret child. A full-on fake pregnancy story designed to manipulate emotions, stir headlines, and possibly even embarrass Jim in the most personal way imaginable. Why would they do it? This is where things get murky and also terrifying. Some insiders claim Chrissy wanted to trap Jim into finally marrying her, using a pregnancy story to force his hand. Others say Camron was the architect, allegedly pushing Chrissy to go along with it as part of a revenge plan against Jim, a chance to humiliate him and make him look weak. One alleged insider told a gossip page, Jim was never supposed to find out. They thought they could run the play, get him panicking, maybe agreeing to things he never wanted to agree to. But the second he found out it was fake, he lost it. If this is true, it means the scandal isn't just about a messy love triangle, it's about weaponizing family and fatherhood to destroy a man's image. Fans always suspected something looking back. Fans are now connecting dots. Many recall Chrissy's vague posts about new beginnings and family blessings that never materialized. Some remember Camron's suspicious Instagram captions, where he hinted about secrets coming soon while tagging random baby emojis. At the time, people dismissed it as trolling. But now, in the wake of Jim's bombshell, those posts look chillingly calculated. Why Jim's exposure feels so dangerous? Jim Jones really has the receipts if he's about to show proof that his partner and his former brother set him up with a fake baby plot. It won't just ruin relationships. It could end careers, tarnish legacies, and ignite a Harlem war unlike anything we've seen in years. Because this isn't just gossip. This is betrayal at the highest, most personal level. A brother and a lover conspiring together. It's Shakespearean tragedy, except instead of swords and crowns, it's Instagram Lives, leaked DMIs. Leaked DMIs, and the entire culture watching in real time. The cliffhanger, and here's the kicker. Sources claim Jim isn't done. He's allegedly preparing to drop hard evidence screenshots, recordings, maybe even witness testimony that proves everything. If and when he does, the fallout could be catastrophic. Not just for Chrissy and Camron, but for the entire Dipset legacy. The streets buzzed with speculation. But when Jim Jones finally broke his silence, the whispers turned into thunder. No longer just rumors on gossip blogs. No longer vague captions or cryptic Instagram stories. This was Jim himself allegedly speaking out, calling the so-called fake baby plot the dirtiest betrayal he had ever faced in his life. The confrontation, according to multiple insiders, it all went down during a heated behind-closed-doors meeting that quickly spiraled into chaos. Jim, Chrissy, and Camron were all present. And what was supposed to be a discussion about business partnerships reportedly turned into a verbal bloodbath. Witnesses claim Jim slammed down a manila folder stuffed with papers, text messages, alleged medical records, and screenshots. His voice thundered across the room. "You really thought you could play me with a fake baby? Do you know who I am? Do you know what Harlem means to me?" Chrissy reportedly froze, her face pale, while Cam smirked, a smirk that, according to sources, only enraged Jim further. The receipts blogs later claimed that Jim's receipts included messages between Chrissy and Camron, discussing a fabricated pregnancy timeline. One alleged text from Chrissy to Cam read, "He's not listening to me anymore. Maybe if he thinks I'm pregnant, he'll finally lock it down." Cam allegedly replied, "Don't worry, Ma. We'll make sure he buys it. Trust me, he won't question you." Though unverified, the screenshots went viral within minutes of leaking. Fans dissected fonts, timestamps, even the battery percentage at the top of the screen, desperate to prove whether they were real or fake. The emotional explosion Jim reportedly turned to Chrissy and shouted words that cut through decades of shared history. "I gave you my life. I gave you everything. And you let him use you to destroy me?" According to witnesses, Chrissy broke down in tears, insisting it wasn't what it looked like, that she never meant for it to go this far. But Jim wasn't buying it. Cam allegedly taunted him, saying, "You always been too soft when it came to her. Now look, played like a fool. Harlem knows." At that moment, the tension snapped. Sources say Jim lunged toward Cam, security rushing in to hold him back as Chrissy screamed. The scene was so explosive that one insider later said, "It felt like watching a family funeral." Something died in that room, and it wasn't coming back. The public leak hours later. No one knows who, leaked a snippet of the confrontation online. In the muffled audio clip, you can clearly hear Jim's voice breaking as he says, "I would have given my life for y'all, and this is how you play me. With a baby that don't even exist?" The internet froze. This wasn't speculation anymore. This was Jim, his pain raw. His betrayal undeniable. Social media detonates. Twitter turned into a war zone. If Chrissy really did this, it's foul beyond repair. That man put her on when nobody cared. Cam been sneaky. I knew he couldn't stand Jim's shine. This ain't surprising. This gotta be fake. No way Chrissy and Cam would stoop that low. Harlem politics are crazy, but this. On TikTok, creators stitched the leaked audio with dramatic reenactments, while others broke down the alleged texts, like FBI analysts. Memes flooded Instagram, showing Cam photoshopped holding a baby doll with captions like Dipset Daycare. The first twist, it's bigger than just them when the internet thought it had the story figured out. An anonymous blog post flipped the entire narrative. The post claimed that the fake baby scheme wasn't just Chrissy and Cam acting out of jealousy or manipulation. It was allegedly tied to a bigger business play, according to this source. Powerful industry figures who felt threatened by Jim's growing influence were pushing the plot by humiliating him with a fake baby scandal. They hoped to undermine his credibility, fracture Dipset permanently, and take control of upcoming ventures linked to Harlem's rap scene. The blog didn't name names, but fans speculated wildly, from label execs to rival rappers to old enemies of Dipset. Suddenly, this wasn't just a betrayal between lovers and brothers. This was a conspiracy. The fallout is bigger than anyone expected. For Jim, his heart shattered, his trust broken, and his empire on shaky ground. For Chrissy, once admired as the loyal partner, she's now being dragged as the alleged mastermind behind one of hip-hop's most heartless schemes. For Cam, already known for being petty, this could cement him as Harlem's ultimate villain, or, if the setup theory holds, as a pawn in a bigger chess game. And fans, they're left wondering whether anything they believed about Harlem loyalty was ever real. The cliffhanger Jim reportedly told close friends that he's not stopping until the whole truth comes out. One insider said he's got more. What he dropped already is just the beginning. The next receipts. They're gonna burn bridges you can't rebuild. The question is, who will Jim expose next? Chrissy again, Cam in full, or the shadowy figures allegedly pulling strings behind the scenes? One thing's for sure, this scandal has only just begun. The Harlem streets thought they'd seen every scandal, every feud, every betrayal. But what happened next? It took this saga from jaw-dropping to apocalyptic. Jim Jones' confrontation and the leaked receipts had already split fans. But now the story was escalating at a pace nobody could keep up with. Every hour brought a new leak, a new accusation, a new revelation that made the so-called fake baby plot even darker than anyone could have imagined. Chrissy's desperate defense after Jim's confrontation leaked. Chrissy broke her silence in a way that shocked everyone. She posted a late-night Instagram story, eyes swollen, voice shaking, but words fiery. Y'all don't know what's going on? Jim acting like a victim when he's been playing me for years. Ain't no fake baby. Ain't no plot. If I wanted to trap him, don't you think I would have done it years ago? Don't believe everything you read. But fans weren't convinced. The timing, the cryptic phrasing, and her refusal to outright deny the accusations only poured gasoline on the fire. Screenshots of her story spread instantly, with comments like, "If there ain't no fake baby, why can't you just say it straight?" She's dodging the truth. That's a guilty woman right there. Some defended her, saying Jim's pain was being weaponized online. But others weren't buying it, and the suspicion grew heavier. Cam single quotes, Ron doubles down. Meanwhile, Camron did what Cam always does. He trolled. Instead of clarifying or denying, he jumped online with a sly smile and posted a photo of a baby doll dressed in Dipset merch, captioned, "Harlem's newest member. Salute." The internet lost it. Some laughed, calling Cam the ultimate petty king, but others accused him of mocking a scandal that had destroyed lives. Jim, according to insiders, was furious, telling friends Cam's post was the last straw, the shocking tape-hand then, the bombshell that changed everything. A blog known for messy exclusives, released what they claimed was a recorded phone call between Chrissy and Cam. The audio, though grainy, allegedly captured Chrissy's voice saying, "If he thinks I'm pregnant, he won't keep running. He'll finally marry me. He'll finally settle." Cam's alleged voice responded, "Trust me, he won't question it. All we need is a couple of posts, some fake doctor paperwork. He'll fold." The tape spread like wildfire, shared millions of times within hours, though unverified. It sounded real enough to convince fans that Jim's accusations weren't baseless. One fan wrote, "That's it. This ain't rumors anymore. This is the dirtiest betrayal I've ever heard." Another countered, "This could be AI. Don't fall for it. The industry too advanced for us to trust audio now." Regardless of authenticity, the damage was done. Chrissy's name trended worldwide, dragging her from respected partner to villain in the public eye. The Harlem Divide's the fallout reached Harlem itself. Local voices, rappers, and OGs started weighing in. Some backed Jim, calling him the realist for exposing the plot. Others backed Cam, saying he'd never stoop so low, and accusing Jim of manufacturing drama for attention. One Harlem OG told a podcast, "This ain't about no baby. This is about Harlem pride. They airing dirty laundry that should have stayed in-house, but fans weren't letting it go." The story had already gone global. The label connection here is where it got even uglier. New reports claim the fake baby plot wasn't just about Chrissy wanting marriage or Cam wanting revenge. Allegedly, a label executive had encouraged the entire scandal, hoping to derail Jim's business moves and upcoming projects. According to one anonymous source, they knew Jim was about to ink a deal that would put him in control of his own masters and a piece of Harlem real estate tied to music ventures. If his image got dragged through this kind of scandal, investors would back off. It was all about power. That revelation turned the story from messy relationship drama into a conspiracy at the highest levels of hip-hop business. Now, fans weren't just blaming Chrissy and Cam. They were pointing fingers at shadowy industry players pulling strings. Jim's next move through it all. Jim stayed quiet until he didn't. On Instagram Live, with thousands tuned in, he said, "I ain't gon' argue on here. But just know, the truth always wins. And when the next receipts drop, don't say, 'I ain't warned y'all.' This Harlem history, y'all watching? They tried to bury me, but they forgot I'm cement out here." That cryptic statement sent chills. Everyone knew Jim wasn't bluffing. If he had more receipts, more evidence, the next drop could destroy Chrissy and Cam permanently. The cliffhanger, and then came the whisper that froze fans in their tracks. A pregnancy test picture allegedly tied to Chrissy was circulating behind the scenes, waiting to leak. Some claimed it was doctored. Others said it was the final nail in the coffin. Is Jim about to drop proof that the entire pregnancy was a fabrication? Or will Chrissy counter with receipts that flip the narrative back on him? And what about Cam? Will he finally confess, or keep trolling until the very end? One insider summed it up: "Harlem ain't never seen a war like this. And trust me, it's not over. The real bomb hasn't even dropped yet." The Harlem scandal had already reached fever pitch. But when the audio receipts leaked, the fallout became a cultural earthquake. This wasn't just Jim, Chrissy, and Camron's dirty laundry anymore. It was a public spectacle, dissected in real time by millions of fans, celebrities, and industry insiders. And the reactions, they were more brutal, more divided, and more chaotic than anything the hip-hop world has seen in years. Fans split into factions. Social media instantly turned into a war zone. On one side were the fans who believed Jim Jones wholeheartedly, praising him for exposing the darkest betrayal Harlem had ever witnessed. Jim been solid his whole life. Chrissy and Cam really thought they could clown him with a fake baby. Disgusting. This ain't just drama. This is emotional warfare. You don't play with family like that. On the other side, Chrissy still had defenders. People who accused Jim of weaponizing the internet against a woman he'd never fully committed to. Jim dragged Chrissy on TV for years with no ring. Now he wanna act like a victim. Please, if she pulled a stunt, it's because she was tired of waiting. Blame him for never stepping up. And then there was the Team Cam faction, egged on by his trolling posts. They mocked the entire situation, turning the scandal into memes. Cam, really the funniest man alive. Baby Dipset is the new mascot at this point. Cam trolling is the only thing keeping Harlem sane. TikTok and memes take over on TikTok. Creators went wild. One trend used Cam's Dipset baby doll post as a green screen background, with users acting out fake phone calls like, "Hello? Yeah, the baby's plastic." But the drama's real. Another viral edit took Jim's leaked line, "You really thought you could play me with a fake baby?" and set it to dramatic soundtracks. It became the go-to audio for women dragging their boyfriends in skits, pets betraying their owners, even parody fast food commercials. Instagram was flooded with memes. One showed Chrissy photoshopped onto Maury's stage with the caption, "In the case of baby Dipset, there is nitrogen monoxide, baby." Another depicted Cam as the puppet master, pulling Chrissy's strings, with Jim looking shocked in the middle. Celebrities picked sides, then came the celebrity reactions, which only poured gasoline on the fire. Fat Joe tried to mediate. "I don't know the truth, but I know family. We gotta stop letting the streets and the internet tear us apart." 50 Cent, never missing a chance for chaos, mocked Jim. He let a fake baby storyline take him out. LOL should have stuck to selling Capo merch. Remy Ma, surprisingly, sided with Jim, saying in an interview, "I know what it's like to be loyal and get played." If what he's saying is true, that's foul on another level. Nicki Minaj stirred suspicion again, tweeting, "Lies always come out. Some of y'all should have stayed in your lane." Fans immediately tied her comment to Chrissy, fueling conspiracy theories that Nicki secretly enjoyed Remy's allies getting exposed. Even outside of hip-hop, reality stars, athletes, and influencers weighed in. Tamar Braxton blasted Chrissy for humiliating herself for a man who wasn't marrying her. Anyway, basketball players were quoted joking about pulling a Camron move in locker rooms. Industry fallout. Scandal's impact wasn't just personal, it was business. Promoters were suddenly wary about booking Jim Jones, fearing the controversy would overshadow his music. Chrissy's image took an even harder hit, with lifestyle brands quietly backing away from her. Cam's single quotes Ron, on the other hand, was reportedly approached by streaming networks for a potential docuseries. His unapologetic trolling made him the scandal's unlikely star. Even his critics blasted him for destroying his legacy. One insider leaked that a major label deal Jim was negotiating is now on ice because investors don't want to risk being tied to the chaos. Another whispered that Chrissy has been cut off from opportunities she was promised through connections. In the fashion world, a culture reckoning, but beyond the gossip, fans began questioning something deeper. What does this mean for loyalty in hip-hop? For years, Jim and Chrissy were held up as a messy but unbreakable couple. Proof that love could survive Harlem politics, fame, and egos. Cam and Jim were the Dipset brothers who built an empire together. Now, with accusations of a fake baby plot, fans are asking whether anything about loyalty in the culture is real. One viral tweet captured the heartbreak. First Pap and Remy, now Jim and Chrissy. If the realest couples can't survive, maybe loyalty don't exist anymore. The scandal has become more than just messy entertainment. It's a cultural wound, exposing how fragile love, brotherhood, and trust can be in the game. The cliffhanger as the dust continues to swirl. Fans are demanding one thing: the truth. Did Chrissy and Cam really conspire in a fake pregnancy plot? Are the leaked audio and texts real, or manufactured by enemies trying to bury Jim? And if there really is a shadowy label connection, who stands to gain the most from Harlem's most loyal soldier being humiliated? One alleged insider teased to a blog, "Y'all think this is wild now? Wait until Jim drops the next bomb. That's when you'll see who's really behind all this." The stage is set. Harlem isn't just divided, it's on the brink of implosion. And the next twist? It could expose secrets that have been buried for decades. Just when fans thought they had pieced together the betrayal, Harlem was rocked with a revelation so wild it made the so-called fake baby scandal feel like the opening act. The envelope, according to multiple insiders. Jim Jones didn't just have screenshots and audio recordings, he had something physical. At a tense dinner meeting with close friends, Jim allegedly pulled out a sealed envelope and told the room, "This is the nail in the coffin. If I drop this, it's over for both of them." No one outside that room knows exactly what was inside. But whispers say the envelope contained doctored medical documents and signed affidavits from someone close to Chrissy proof. Jim claims that the pregnancy never existed and that Cam played a direct role in fabricating the story. The shadow player. But here's where the twist turned even darker. One blog claimed that Camron and Chrissy weren't the masterminds at all. Instead, the scheme was allegedly funded by a powerful Harlem investor tied to the music business. This figure, whose name hasn't been leaked, allegedly has deep ties to both Dipset and reality TV, and supposedly encouraged the fake baby storyline to boost ratings. For a show concept while simultaneously humiliating Jim, the blog went further, saying Cam was the face, Chrissy was the pawn. But the money behind this move? That's where the real betrayal lies. Suddenly, this wasn't just a messy love triangle. It was a chessboard, and Jim might have been targeted as part of a much bigger play. The young chick twisting fuel to the fire. Another figure entered the mix. A young Harlem woman who went live claiming she was originally approached to pose as Jim's secret baby mother for a storyline. She said she turned it down, but her claims added terrifying weight to Jim's allegations. "They wanted me to play the role, to go on blogs, to say I had his kid. I said no, but then I see all this with Chrissy. I believe him now." Her live was cut short after only 8 minutes, leaving fans wondering if she was silenced or scared into disappearing. Chrissy silenced Greasy. Once defiant, suddenly went quiet. No more posts, no interviews, no clapbacks. To fans, that silence was deafening. Did she know the walls were closing in? Or was she preparing her own bombshell counterattack? Cam's response, Cam, of course, leaned into the chaos. He posted a picture of himself holding a Harlem baby doll again. But this time with the caption, "Y'all waiting on Jim's envelope. I already got the baby." Dipset daycare opened 24/7. The trolling only enraged fans further. Some called him heartless. Others said his jokes were proof he had something to hide. The cliffhanger now. The world waits for Jim Jones to unleash the contents of that envelope. If he really has documents, affidavits, and proof that Chrissy and Cam, or worse, an unnamed Harlem power player, staged the entire plot, it could end careers, destroy friendships, and permanently fracture Harlem's image in hip-hop history. And here's the scariest part. Insiders say Jim is considering taking this story to a streaming platform. That means not just leaked clips and screenshots, but a full documentary with receipts, interviews, and footage that could burn Harlem's most respected names. So we're left asking, will Jim drop the nuclear evidence? Will Chrissy come clean? Or will Cam double down, dragging this war into uncharted territory? As one Harlem insider warned in a late-night tweet, the real Harlem story ain't about love, loyalty, or music. It's about power. And the real boss behind this play, they still in the shadows. The next move will decide everything. And that's where we leave it. Not with closure, but with chaos. Harlem's most explosive scandal has turned into a saga of betrayal, manipulation, and secrets that still haven't all come out. From Jim's raw confrontation to Chrissy's cryptic defense, from Cam's trolling antics to whispers of a shadowy Harlem investor pulling strings, this isn't just a story about a fake baby. This is about power, loyalty, and the lengths people will go to control the narrative. But the question now is, what do you believe? Do you think Chrissy and Cam truly conspired in a fake baby plot? Or are they pawns in an even bigger game being played by people higher up? Do you believe Jim's envelope holds undeniable proof that will end everything once and for all? Or is this just another Harlem war, designed to keep us all talking while the real bosses remain in the shadows? I need you to drop your theories in the comments. Raw, unfiltered, no holding back. Who's lying? Who's telling the truth? And most importantly, who stands to gain the most from this chaos? If this breakdown had you glued to every twist and turn, hit that like button right now. It lets me know you want every update, every leak, every insider whisper this second it drops. Smash that subscribe button and ring the bell because, trust me, the next chapter is coming. And it's going to be uglier than anything we've seen so far. This isn't the end, it's the beginning of a war. Harlem loyalty has been shattered, and the next receipts could destroy legacies forever. Stay locked in. The real Harlem story is still unfolding.